welcome to another episode of Enter the Minds of Nadine and Vera.
Hello, everyone.
How are you guys doing today? We're doing pretty good. How are you, Mom?
I'm doing well. I got a lot of garden work done, and that always makes me happy.
Okay, well, football season has started back.
Oh, yeah. I know you happy, huh?
Well, this is the second week. The Chiefs lost last week to the Chargers. They
Yeah.
played in Brazil. That was a hard game to watch.
Yeah.
But today is football Sunday. That's why I'm wearing my jersey and Mom's wearing her shirt. And the Chiefs are playing the Eagles. And, we got our butt kicked in the Super Bowl by the Eagles last year.
Yeah. I like when those two teams play.
Why do you like it?
I like it because his brother Jason was on the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he retired, it's kind of like, um, Kelsey is facing his brother's team.
Right.
It's kind of awesome. But not only that, they're a tough team. So they're going to give the Chief a true workout. They're not an
It's a
easy.
battle,
Yeah,
a true battle.
it's
Yeah.
a true battle. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see who wins tonight. It'll be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, today we're going to talk about hypothetical questions.
Yeah, what we're going to talk about is the art of conversation is changing. And what we have to remember is sometimes instead of a text, you should call someone or, sit down and talk. The problem is when you sit down and talk to people, it's only so much you can say. So we came up with this list of, well, Latanya did, of hypothetical questions that'll give your brain a workout.
But you are right. People don't, I don't think people truly know each other because you don't truly like just have random conversations and talk and talk and talk. People want to just text and get the bare minimum out of their questions, right?
Yes, and that was my issue when I was running a staff. People will send an email, and if they didn't get an acknowledgement, they assume that person got the email. And it's like, sometime, okay, you could send the email, but pick up the phone and call them or walk down the hall and knock on their door because you have a lot of in house, and I'm guilty of that, and you're guilty of that. You'll text me, and I'll be in my room, and you'll be in your room, you know.
You have your read receipts on, so I go back and see if you read it. So I know when you read it and what time.
But we texting each other in the home we live in.
But it'll be a simple question like, "Do you want to watch TV?" That doesn't require a lot of conversation,
Okay.
I think. But
I guess you know how sometimes I'll call you from the other room. Is that
that's
not
better than
cool? Is that a thing or what?
that's the thing since cell phones. But what about old school writing letters? That doesn't happen that much.
I know. And I will tell you if you wanted to get a message across that is very important, write a letter.
Because
That's the best way.
you're able to write your emotions and your feelings down and get your message across a little bit easier without being interrupted as well.
Exactly. It's just so many ways that we all can improve when it comes to communication. But we want to do some fun questions today.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna ask the first question: which famous person's body would you take over if you were a zombie?
Wow, Tanya. Famous person, body. It's like, I guess, I guess I should go younger, huh? Um, I don't know. I like my own body.
Okay.
I don't want to be somebody else. But if I had to choose, I would choose Patti LaBelle,
Well,
even though she older.
but then you have, if you're older then you have a less chance of surviving if you can't run or, you know.
But I'd be able to sing my butt off.
But if you're a zombie, do you truly know who you are?
I
Do you
don't
know that you're
know.
singing? Like, think of Walking Dead.
I have no
That
idea.
sounds like a dumb
Can
question,
can
actually.
can we skip that and go on to another question?
Okay, you asked me a question now then.
Wow. I mean, we could talk about it for 5 minutes and I still wouldn't be able to come up with anything. Okay. Here's my question, which is kind of like along that line too. Would you take a $70 week, 70K a week job offer where you get paid to sit in a pitch dark black room and do nothing for 20 hours a day? So for 20 hours a day, you got to sit in this room. It's pitch dark and you are doing nothing, but you're going to get 70K a week.
Can I stop at any time?
20 hours a day.
I would not, because I've watched some plenty of TV shows to know that that caused like a major psychological problem. Like you start to go crazy if you don't have any interaction with light outside world with outside people. So you would mentally go crazy.
How long would that take you to go crazy?
Maybe a couple of weeks, I'm thinking.
Yeah, because I'm thinking I could sit in a room pitch dark for 20 hours because I be in my own head and thinking about things, entertain yourself. You can't be relied totally on the outside world TV.
Maybe I can do it for a month if I know I can go like on a good vacation and pay off some bills, some good bills. But I don't think I could do that forever. Maybe a good month.
I mean, you could meditate, you could daydream. Heck, if it's a pitch black room, you could nod off to sleep. How would they know? You can't see through a pitch dark room.
And you'll be okay with just, watching TV or seeing your family for just 4 hours. By the time you eat, take a shower, it'll be time to go back to work.
Excuse me, Tanya, you talking to someone who has had to work for 20 hours a day for a short period of time, but you come home, you take a shower, you grab something to eat and go to bed. And you do it all over again.
Okay.
This is a sit there, do nothing job.
Moving along.
Okay.
What could you do it? You say you could.
I would like to try.
Okay, you would like to try. Okay. Would you like to be the president of the United States or the head of state of a monarchy?
I would prefer to be a head of state of a
Monarchy?
monarchy.
Okay. Why is that?
Hopefully, they're not considered politician.
They are.
I know, but maybe there's a chance they're not as corrupt.
I don't think I would want to do either. I don't want to be in the public eye, being subjected to every word that I say. I guess this podcast, I'm being subjected to things that I say, but it's not on a large scale. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just want to live my life and not have to worry about everybody else. Okay.
Okay. Would you rather forget about yourself or forget about someone else?
Someone else, as long as it's not my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because, well, if you forget about yourself, you won't know that you forgot about yourself. So I guess it wouldn't matter, but then you wouldn't even know who that person is. So either way, you would forget yourself and them. So I would rather forget about somebody else.
And then you could that question could actually easily be translated into love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to worrying about everybody else and not taking care of yourself. If you take care of you, then you're going to be on the right track. And anyone who don't love you can get to stepping.
True statement.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is it my question?
Sure.
Okay, I like this one. Which world would you rather live in? Harry Potter or the Twilight?
Well, I love the Twilight movie, so I'm gonna say Twilight.
Why?
Because the movie, well, I've seen maybe one Harry Potter movie, and that's like all magic and stuff. Twilight just seemed like it's hot and romantic and werewolves and vampires and stuff like that. And
so, what character, what type of character would you want to be?
I was always Team Jacob, so maybe a werewolf. Yeah.
Yeah, but they have this thing about what they call it when you
When they have to turn every full moon.
no when they mate, when they find their mate.
Oh, imprinting on
You have to
someone.
be imprinted.
Mm-hmm. But it's kind of romantic, but kind of disturbing that he was imprinted on Bella's daughter at the end. But yeah, Twilight. What about you? You love the Twilight
I love the
movies.
Twilight, and I think I would rather have been the one that at first I think I hate to say what happened to her, but when she got turned, it's because these guys attacked her,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think it was what was the name of the one that was in charge of all of them, or the father
The
figure,
doctor.
the doctor.
I can't remember
I
his
think the
name.
doctor changed him, but I think I would want to be her because she kind of showed flexibility in her thinking. Because at first it was like, oh, you're not one of us, and I smell your blood, to being strong enough to accept Bella into the family and not attack her. So that shows strength and flexibility and control over yourself. I would like to be her.
Okay. Good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um. Hmm. What show would you like if you had to be trapped in a TV show for a month? And who would you be if you were a character? So that kind of goes along with what we just talked about with the movie.
I would like to be trapped in the Flintstones, and I want to be Wilma
Why?
because Wilma is married to a knucklehead, but she is really the star of the show. She keeps everything together. Even Betty follow her. Wilma.
Yeah, but there's nothing, there's no like electronics, there's no, it's just very old school way of living.
Tanya, I was born in 1960. And the first home we lived in that I remember was just like that. No electricity, no running water.
Did you have a car
I guess Granddaddy had a car.
or a truck?
Yeah, Granddaddy had a car, but it wasn't like it was the Stone Age compared to what you guys had. We had an outhouse.
Yeah, 50 years, a lot has changed, right?
50 years.
In the last I'm just saying like over
60.
65 years.
How about 62 years? Because I moved there with them, when I was 3. But of course, when I became 10, we built a home in the country on the land, on the property, and we had all those commodities. But yeah,
Do you care about people knowing your age?
nope.
So I have a question. You're going to be turning 65 next month in October.
Yes.
Now, looking over the past 65 years, do you feel like your life have gone by quickly, slowly, or at a steady pace?
In some aspect, quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how quick my grandchildren grew into adults.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed like that was pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
As far as me, you, and Terry, I felt like it was a steady pace because I was there for every moment of it. At the same time, slow for times that may have I wasn't with you.
Do you feel like sometimes you wish you can rewind back the clock a little bit, or do you like where you are now?
No, my clock is fine.
Okay.
I don't want to rewind.
Okay. Same.
I was going to ask you, you want to rewind?
No, but to me, it seemed like it seemed like it's going faster. Like, as the time, every year, it seemed like it goes a little bit faster and faster. And like you said, the kids, William's going to be 20 this year. Like, how can he be already 20? Almost 20 it is going fast. Slow down just a little bit.
That's a parent. That's how we feel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Would you wish to travel to the future and be present at your own funeral?
Heck no. That's one of the reasons why I don't want to prearrange my funeral. None of that. I just leave money for y'all to take care of that. Otherwise, I would be having freaking nightmares if I did something like that.
I don't know. I think it'd be kind of nice to see who's at your funeral and see, you know,
Don't care.
what if no one shows up?
I won't know.
I know, but it'd be kind of nice to see all your loved ones.
I'll be dead. I won't know. Seriously.
Okay.
That would be your problem.
You know, people have living funerals.
I know.
Like people who are like, you know, maybe
Still alive, but
sickly, they'll have their funeral before they die, so that way they can be appreciated and loved on while they're still living.
that's not the meaning of that. You're supposed to love each other and give them their flowers while they live, but you don't wait till they sick and put on the front. It should be a living thing normal that you do all the time. You know, give me my flowers while I live, and you and Terry, Kayla and William, you give me my flowers as I live now. You know, I get them all the time. A kiss from William, good night. And I remember Terry Jr. used to kiss me good night long after he was grown. Why you don't kiss me good night, Tanya?
Remember how you said you didn't breastfeed me because I was a girl? You're just like, ew, you're a girl, but you breastfed Terry?
Mm-hmm.
You're a woman. Why would I want to kiss you every night? I mean, I kiss you enough.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be every night.
I accept that.
Okay.
You're on point on that one.
Yeah. Which sport would you choose if you could be a professional athlete?
Track and field.
That's because you did that in high school and you were pretty good at it.
Long distance, yeah.
Did you win any championships?
Yeah, I'd be second place because I had a you know,
A
partner,
teammate?
a teammate.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't thinking, in my mind, it didn't matter. If she was in front of me, I would never try to outrun her. And it came back to bite me because I would just be like, we'd win first, I would be second. It was only one school, two girls would beat us, and that meant she would be third, I would be fourth, right? So we actually make it to the championship, and I'm running, and she comes around the corner. I slow down to allow her to go in front of me. That's the order of thing in my head. Nobody told me difference. Come to find out, I could have won second place because she stepped out of the line or something and got disqualified.
Mm.
And then my coach say, "Well, you should have you compete against everyone." But I always thought, okay, she's my teammate. Her name was Gwen Molan. She was tall, had some long legs, and I just never tried to outrun her. It was okay. She was my teammate.
So did you learn from that situation?
Yes. Your competitor is yourself. You always should do the best that you can, regardless of who's your teammate or whatever.
But reflecting back on that, why do you think you say you was okay because that was your teammate, but you was okay with being second place?
Yeah, because
you should have wanted to be first.
And then it was so cool because on Monday morning they would announce winner. I thought it was cool.
So you was just fine just to be there.
First, second, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't mature enough to think past any of that. I honestly believe that my common sense is something that I learned on my own and pieces I grabbed in the world. Nobody was teaching me that.
You feel like you was thrown out into the world like when you went in the military?
No, I ran to the military.
Got it.
The military was my salvation.
Okay, your question.
Okay. Which would you prefer? A great love relationship that lasts a year or a mediocre relationship that lasts your entire life?
If I'm happy with the mediocre relationship, maybe that. But there's nothing like, everybody wishes for true love. and it sucks that it will only last a year. But if you're mediocre and not happy, I wouldn't do that. No. I think that's probably why I'm still single.
Do y'all hear that? You know, I have this thing about, maybe I'm wrong. I'm gonna have y'all pray for me. People love to brag, oh, we've been married 38 years. And I'm thinking, really? Okay, that means nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you holding on to each other, scared to go or can't go. Is it really a marriage, or are you just participating in a relationship because you got married?
I don't want to be in a miserable relationship. It's better to be by yourself.
Exactly.
Hmm. Okay, let's move on.
You next.
Oh, this is a question. Do you believe that if all land was connected, the world would be a better place?
We would have killed each other already.
I'm like, that's
It would have been too easy access.
a lot of fighting, a lot of war.
Talking about can't sleep.
Okay.
Let me see, can I find another one? Okay. One day you are assigned to a large scale project that has a direct impact on the company's performance. What would you do if you were in this situation?
Can you repeat the question? You talking about work? My mind just instantly
Okay.
shut down.
I didn't really want to ask that. It was a question on here. I thought I marked that say, if you were told by your boss to do something that was
Immoral.
what would you do?
You know, being in the Air Force, being in the military, integrity is one of the first things you're taught. I wouldn't like directly like outcast the boss or be loud about it, but I would find a way to do the morally right thing. I would hope.
Mm-hmm.
This takes me back to college. Okay, picture this. You know, I was in undergraduate school. Well, yeah, I was getting my bachelor's, and I think it was like chemistry or physics, probably chemistry class. And every time we would take a test, the teacher would leave out of the classroom every single time, and leave his student teacher in the room, right? So as soon as the teacher would leave, everybody would like start cheating on their tests. Not Latonya. You know, my eyes stayed on my paper. I did not cheat. But if someone said no, question number 15 was B, I did go look and see if my answer
You could hear, you
I
just
could
wasn't
hear,
looking.
but I wasn't participating. You know what I mean? I wasn't purposely cheating, but I just compared their answer to mine to be like, okay, I got B too, you know, kind of like that. But yeah. Um,
That happened, you know, I went to many schools in the military. I don't even have to talk about getting my bachelor. I had nobody around to cheat with. But well, let me tell you this story. Algebra kicked my butt. The light never came on. My son would tutor me literally for 3 or 4 hours a night, and I was like a kid. Remember those days? Got to go to the bathroom. I'm sleepy, whatever. And I mean, he was on me. Now, while he was sitting next to me, I could understand and do the problem that he was talking about. So I'm telling his dad this, like, Terry Sr., this algebra is killing me because when I take my little test, it'll be 10 questions. And I understood the geometry or whatever the else. They'd have 7 questions with algebra. And I blew my little test.
mm-hmm.
And so he tells me, why don't you tell your son to take the test for you? And I was like, I could never ask him to do that because he would look at me. First of all, he wouldn't do it.
He wouldn't.
But he would just look at me differently. I had to maintain my respect. But the bottom line is, I would have a problem. Instead of him showing me how to work the problem that I had the problem, he going to make up a different problem.
Yeah, that's how you learn.
Yeah, but the light never came on, so that's why I got a B in my. It was the statistic class or something. And if I had been more patient and listened to him a little bit more, I would have got an A because it was a high B. But
So you did something right. you gotta be.
But the light never came on for algebra.
Because your mind probably instantly shut it down. Just like when I said, as soon as you start talking about work, my brain shut off. As soon as you start talking about algebra, you automatically was like, nope, not going to get it. So you didn't allow yourself to process it.
Yeah, he's a excellent. You know, he's a good teacher because, like, when for my master's, I had to put together all kinds of charts, and I was able to comprehend because he will go slow enough and show you as many times as possible and check your work. You know, but see, algebra, I'd rather get a whipping for 5 minutes.
Well, math is like a building block. So first grade, you learn this. Second, you learn your plus 7 is 14. And then, they add a A in there, and then, they make the equation longer and longer. And then they put a parentheses around it with the exponent. So it's like build upon. And so did you have algebra when you were in middle school, high school?
You are so funny.
I'm just
Okay,
saying.
let me answer. Let me answer.
If you didn't,
Let
then
me
that
answer.
would make it okay.
When I was in school, they taught you reading, writing, and
Arithmetic.
arithmetic.
Right.
That arithmetic consists of adding, subtraction, multiply, and divide, and some what you call the
Fractions.
fraction.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all I could tell you is maybe they taught somebody in my high school more difficult math, but it wasn't me.
So even a senior in high school, you was just the most you were doing was multiplication.
Fraction. Oh, I probably wasn't taking math because it was a building block too. You had to take like 4 years of English, 2 years of history, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably only took math my ninth year or whatever because I was ahead in my class as far as graduation points.
Mm-hmm. So that proves my point. So you didn't have that foundation of doing algebra in high school. So now 20 years later, how are you going to just automatically know how to do it without practice over and over and over?
Because I've always tackled things that I didn't know how to do.
You didn't tackle it if your mind shut off.
And I conquered things. I was good at
You
it.
survived it. I don't know if you conquered it.
No, I conquered things. So
Okay.
as long as my son tutored me all those hours, the light should have come on, but it didn't.
What historical figure would be the most terrifying ghost to encounter?
Anybody who dared to me.
I don't know if I would be scared of a ghost. No? Comment?
Should be.
Why?
It ain't the ghost. It's the devil.
You don't believe in ghosts?
I believe in the devil and he can do a lot of things.
That may be true, but you don't. But I also believe there's ghosts in the world.
And it's evil.
Okay. No comment.
I'm just trying to tell you, if you see a ghost, don't talk to her. If you see a figure that is someone that you know is dead, just mind your business and don't talk to them because it ain't real.
I've never seen a ghost, but I felt, a presence. Is
Hopefully-
that the devil?
No, it could have been an angel.
Okay.
They exist.
I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your question.
Wow. Do you want someone to tell you exactly what you'll be doing in 20 years if you couldn't do anything about your future?
Yes, I would want to know.
What do you want to know?
Would I want to know what I was doing in 20 years? Yeah. I would want to know what my life would be like in 20 years. You wouldn't?
You'll be old.
I'll be your age in 20 years.
You'll be a senior citizen. I can tell you that.
I'm a middle-aged citizen.
No, you're not middle.
I'm older in the middle.
Mm-mm.
I've already lived half my life.
Mm-mm.
If I'm 40, I'm about to be 44, then what's that, 88?
Don't claim that, Tanya.
I'm just, okay. Would you visit Jurassic Park if it was real?
Nope. Would you? You would. And take your children with you.
Yeah. You have to have a little adventure.
But
I'm scared of a lot of things, but you're scared of most things.
mhm, because I'm wiser.
But I feel like I've let my children have more of a, um, you know, let them explore different things that they want to explore. So if they want to go, yes, I probably would.
And you know why you were okay? Because every day the elders, me, your aunts, your dads, granddad is praying for you. So you was just taken care of.
You said, you know, let me pray for these fools and these babies.
No, I said, no.
God watch over fools and babies.
God take care of babies and fools. I don't know which one I am to him, but he watches over me.
No, I'm talking about when it was related to me and my babies. I was the fool and they were the babies, so we
No,
was gonna be good.
you wasn't a fool, but you were smart enough to not tell me you was gonna do it before you did it.
Kayla said when she gets back, she wants to go on an alligator boat ride.
Mm-hmm.
You think Aunt Deborah would do that?
I know she listened to our podcast. I was gonna say, just don't tell her. Say we going to do an adventure. Like now, if we was in Baton Rouge, we know where to take. You know where to go on the boat ride. Remember?
They have them here too. They're just like further down south, so we'll have to take her and see how she reacts.
I would say don't tell her, but then again, she can read, so getting her in the boat, I don't think she'll do it.
So you're okay with that because you're inside of a boat?
Yeah.
Okay, but if you're in Jurassic Park and you're inside of the car,
And T-Rex come walking up saying, "Hello." What good is a car gonna do?
so you wouldn't trust a scientist that says, you know, that the gates are electric and
No,
they can't get out.
no.
Not going to trust that. Seen
Just
too many movies?
Just like I wouldn't go what you call it, skydiving and
Oh
none of that.
no. See, I would not do that either.
Mm-mm.
I don't have to. That's not a yellow thing.
Okay.
That's not something that I would have to do.
I don't want to parachute, none of that.
I wanted to do zip lining, but now I can't even do that with vertigo. So that's my excuse anyway. I'm
Your
sick of.
kids did though, huh?
Yeah, Kayla. Yeah, they both have. Yeah.
And I used to ride the wildest rides at parks, but I wouldn't do it anymore.
You wouldn't get on. What's the ride at Disney that you took the kids on? It was at Animal Kingdom.
Oh, it was something that Terry. Well, okay, let me change that.
You wouldn't do that now?
Let me change it. If my son was with me and William, I would do it.
So why do you trust your son and your grandson more than you trust me or your granddaughter when it comes to a scary ride? He wouldn't be able to do anything for you that I couldn't do.
No, but he would have analyzed the situation and decided that it was safe enough for me to ride. But why do I always say my son and my grandson? I say it because I feel safe with those two and I can let my guard down. When I'm with just the girls, I feel like I have to be on guard watching and looking and analyzing the situation. I'm not as comfortable. It's just the truth. I don't mean to hurt you, but it's just the truth. Now, even though I don't have a man in my life, I love a man and the strength that they have. And the only men in my life is Terry and William.
Moving along.
I love you.
I know.
But do it make sense, Tanya?
No, the strength and security, yes, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
I think it just irks me when you say my son and my grandson. Like when you say my daughter.
Hey, when we going on a cruise,
Okay.
my daughter.
Okay, that's fair.
You know, we got our own little vacation, just the two of us
That's
go
fair.
on.
Okay.
You know, we don't want to tell you what, but we do things together.
That's fair.
Okay.
But you know, when the kids were little, it used to be like, oh, I'm going on a vacation. You know, me and my son are taking William and we're going to this place. And I'm like, dang, Kayla, she didn't even ask us if we wanted to go.
I went with my men, my little
But we
men.
had fun just being at home by ourselves
Mhm.
anyway.
But you know what? I did not mean to be insensitive to you guys, but it became a thing. Me, Terry, and
Well,
William.
now it's vice versa. Me and you go on trips,
Hmm.
and you and Tara really don't anymore.
We don't get to go, so I'm glad I got my time in.
Fair enough. Okay, if you could learn any skill you want in the world without trying, which one would you pick?
A skill like as in working or talent?
It could be a talent.
Sing.
Don't say sing because you can already sing.
But I mean, blow away an audience sing.
If you could blow away an audience sing, would you have wanted to be like a famous artist and like travel the world and do concerts and all of that stuff?
All I wanted was to be able, there's singing and then there's sang. You see, like your Auntie Ruby and Judy, they sang. I sing. Big difference.
I think you're a wonderful singer.
Yeah, because you my daughter and you just admire me as your mother, but I'm glad I kept my day job or we'll be hungry. We'll be homeless. I never had a chance to take voice lesson and stuff. But Kayla, see, that's the thing. Your daughter can sing. And if she don't do it for any other reason, I really wish she would sing.
Well, she sings for herself, and I think
Mm-hmm.
in her aspect, that's the only thing that matters.
Cause she
She's
come,
not doing it for anyone else. She's doing it for her.
cause we come from a singing family, the Sheffields.
Name another Sheffield.
My sister Priscilla that passed.
Right? Name another one.
Um, my granddaddy RJ, everybody
Oh, he could
loved him
sing.
to sing. Oh, they love for him to sing. He would be singing hymnals and stuff.
Can Grandma Vera sing?
Probably not,
I've never heard her sing.
but yeah,
It skipped over me.
it's some other people in the family.
Okay. I think that would be my skill too. If I can sing, I would want to. If I can get a skill, I would want to sing too. Okay,
Oh,
your question.
let's see. Okay, what age would you prefer if you could go back in time and be any age you wanted for a month?
That's a hard question. My first immediate thought was the age where both my kids were born, so like 24. But then I think just briefly, I would want to go back to the age right before I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia and just
What age was that?
around like 22.
22, yeah.
So I got diagnosed with that at 22. And even though before then I had pain and stuff, but I didn't know how drastic my life was going to change. And so I would like to go to that perfect age where I was not in any pain and didn't have any worries about, wow, my body, you know, I can't even say Indian style. I used to be able to like stand up without even pushing my hands on the ground and, just, yeah, I would go to that age and not be in pain for a month. That would be a good age. But
Mm.
other than that, just the age where both my kids were little, I kind of enjoyed those times when they were little. But, them being adults is also kind of cool now as well. So, you know, what age would you go back to?
Um, I'm like you. I think I would, somewhere in the 20s, 27, 28. You and Terry were small, and we used to travel everywhere in my hoopty.
You
From
had a Lincoln Continental,
Yeah,
but it was like an old school car.
yeah. But the thing is, we were some good traveling partners. And Terry, we could go anywhere. You guys were so good, good
You
children.
taught us young how to be a good traveler.
Yeah.
And my kids are the same way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who, but somebody was with us traveling for the first time, and you guys were a little bit older, and this person didn't know that when you stop, you're supposed to stay together or,
Hmm.
whatever. And you guys checked them. I can't remember who it was.
I remember someone came to visit and you were like, oh, when we stopped at the gas station, Terry Jr. always, went and washed your windows for you, and
Mhm.
maybe I was pumping the gas or vice versa. Maybe he was pumping the gas too. Who knows? But we all had like our little, like you said, we stayed together. We had our routine, and then we got back in the car.
And I loved being your mother. I may have been working and things like that, but I that's the time that was really in love with being your mother. Even though I was, divorced, it was the three of us. We was
Three peas in a pod.
three peas in a pod.
Now we're what, six peas in a pod?
Let me see. How you get six?
Jessica's been around for a long time
Oh,
now.
okay, yeah.
Plus Aunt Deborah, so now we're seven
We
peas in
seven
a
peas.
pod. Yeah. So anyway, okay, nice. Um, I don't know. Do you have any more questions?
Oh, we could go all day, but I don't want to make this too, long.
Mm-hmm.
So I've enjoyed it. What do you think? How did, can you tell them how to find this list? Just Google it. Hypothetical questions for couples.
This is 175 hypothetical questions that'll give your brain a workout. But really, when you ask the question on the spot, it's kind of difficult to answer that question when you don't have time to think about it. So it's probably not as exciting as it could be, but it is kind of get your brain thinking of what would I do in that situation. Like the zombie question, my brain is not even there. So why would I want to change into
But you can
another person?
But you can narrow it down to Googling hypothetical questions for couples,
Mm-hmm.
friends, and adult. And it could be really fun, even for a party. It could be a fun thing to do.
Well, as we do like to ask, so these are hypothetical questions, but on our get togethers, we like to ask trivia questions.
Hmm.
We're kind of like nerds. We like to see how much knowledge we have, and I like to ask the questions so I don't have to be put on the spot.
But we're not nerds.
We are.
No, I'm going to tell you why. A nerd is an uninteresting person. I think you're all very interesting.
Sometimes I think I'm a boring. I don't think that I'm that interesting.
Well, I used to, every time I had to update my top secret clearance every
Hmm.
5 years, I would say, thank God I had a boring life.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in like a group of people and they're all talking? I'm not the type of person, my brother will probably disagree. I don't like to be the center of attention. I really don't, in a group of people. And sometimes I sit there while everybody else talking and I just think, if I don't say anything for the rest of this time, would anybody even notice? Like.
So, what's the question?
I'm trying to get there. What's my question? Have you ever just felt like you was in the background of your own life? Like you wasn't like playing a major part?
Well,
Is that
to be honest, you need to be um, quiet and listen. That's how you learn and you pick up on different behaviors or other. That's not a bad thing if you decide to just listen. That don't put you in the back or make you uninteresting. That's a good place to be. You just have to make the best of it. Now, for me, I've been in that situation because every time I would go home to Miami, my siblings and everybody would be talking so loud. I have a soft voice. My grandmother Bernice and I would be sitting in the back talking to each other. And she asked me one day, she said, Nay, why are you not in the conversation? And I said, Grandma, they wouldn't hear me anyway
mm-hmm.
because it's so loud.
Mm-hmm.
But
I get that.
yeah, so I understand what you're saying.
But at the same point, my friends in high school would say, I do normally go with the flow, but if I have an opinion about something or if I decided that we should do something else, that I want to do something else, I would be like, well, you guys can do that, but this is what Latanya is going to do. So they used to always say, well, Latanya is always going to pick something different. So I had it both ways to where sometimes I felt like I was in the background and just was listening and, not really vocalizing. But then when it became important to me, maybe that's what it is. When it was important to me, I did vocalize.
Tanya, you were in the spotlight.
And maybe that's the thing.
You
I didn't
didn't want to
realize
you
it.
didn't wanna be, but you were. I mean, you were the girl that the parents wanted their daughters to dress alike. They started coming to games and stuff like that. They knew that if you were thirsty, that I was gonna get everybody something. You kind of like was in the spotlight. You didn't want to be. When you remember when it was give the teacher the day off and they picked a student and you were the chemistry teacher and I went to that. They call you what, Miss Smarty, right?
Mhm.
So, and like me, I don't be like I want to be in the spotlight. I want to be in the spotlight. But I've always been in the spotlight.
Mom, you have a different personality than me. You say you don't like to be in the spotlight, but you turn it on. Like when you get in a group of people, it's like a light change and you automatically become in the spotlight, even when you don't realize it.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna end it there, you
All
know?
right,
Be in your
then.
own spotlight. Be your own
It's
spotlight.
okay
Yeah.
to be or not to be.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining another episode. Please like and subscribe. Please go to our YouTube channel and watch the video. And thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.